Hey everybody, Kevin Purcell here for Church Tech Today. I want to show off to you the new version of Logos 9, which has just come out this October 2020. And they've called this a major release, so they went from Logos 8 to Logos 9. I know they call it Logos, but they're wrong. Anyway, so we're going to give you a look at all the new features, see what's added, what's improved, and let you decide whether you think you might want to upgrade to this new program. So here is the home screen. You access this by pressing on the little home button here, and it's got two different parts. The major part up here that most people would use called the dashboard, and it gives you your layouts and courses and reading plans and other things. And then down here is what used to be the old interface that looked a little bit like this. It has different panels that give you links to things. You can open up books in your Bible library. You can open up links to articles on their website and various things. But up here at the top, you've got the toolbar with lots of different features. We'll talk about some of these here in just a second, but primarily you got the home screen, your library button, which opens and shows you your library, the search and command box. These are the three major buttons to open docs, guides, and then tools. And then these are new. I'll tell you about these in just a second. And then this part of the toolbar, you can add things like I've dragged all of these here by opening library, and then say I want the English Standard Version over here. I can just drag it over there like that. Over here, this is the synchronization button. You usually don't have to bother with that. These are layouts. You open that up. It's got predetermined screen layouts that you can populate with books yourself. This one closes everything. I like that little addition there. Here's something new. It's your account button. You can open up your account with links to things. And then the menu button's got something new we'll show you in just a second. So I'm going to start just by opening up a basic layout. You can now create these folders. Now I've created a few, but the way you create a folder is you just right-click on something. For example, if I right-click on this button that opens the New King James Bible, and right here you'll have a folder. This is what's new. Type in here, and let's type in favorite Bibles. I can't type. Now notice that just showed up over here. So what if I want to add this one? Type the same name. And there you go. Those two are right there. I wish I could just drag into this folder. You can't do it. So I'll hit escape and then let go of my mouse button. Now another thing I'd like to show you, I'm going to have to minimize my window. But notice that now my toolbar won't show up. Used to be they'd have a little scroll button and you'd push it, or you'd click on it and hold it down and the toolbar would scroll over so you could see it. But now they just have this down arrow button, and this shows you the rest of your toolbar buttons that you've created. That's handy if you have a little bit smaller screen or a lower resolution screen and you still want to be able to access those. Other than that, over here, like I said, you've already got the new account button. Here's something great. If you want to use light or dark, you can do that. In order to use the dark theme, however, if I click on this, notice this, I'm going to get reapply, restart to reapply, and I have to restart Logos. So now as Logos boots back up or starts back up, you can see that it's now in dark mode. I personally don't like dark mode, and so I'm going right back to my light mode, or you can choose the system mode. I'm going to click that and show you because I actually have light theme in my system now. So I hit restart and it's going to restart. So now we're back in Logos, and what I'm going to do is close everything out so that I can show you something. Now notice there's a new button right here. If you're taking note, all of these buttons, this opens your facets menu. For Bibles, it's just a table of contents mainly. You can enter text here, search, your visual filters. Well, there's a new visual filter, and they put a button right on the toolbar for the fact book. And if you click on that, notice that in the text, we have some underlined words. Now, it's a little bit harder to see in red letter, so let me just go to Acts 9, where it's mostly dark. Notice that each of these words has an underlining. When you hover over it, you get a pop-up of a fact book entry. What's the fact book? Well, that's kind of everything Logos puts in your library in order for you to find information about a certain item. For example, if I'm hovering over Lord, notice the fact book entry opens up to Jesus. But if I go down here to heaven, it will be sky, because in this case, this heaven is not heaven as in the place where God lives, but heaven as in the heavens. And then if you hit Jerusalem, well, there you go. That's the city of David. So let's click one of them. When you click it, it opens a fact book and begins to search for that item or that topic. And that's kind of a neat way to quickly open the fact book and quickly search and do some research on a particular topic by just typing in this search box. You don't have to click on a word in Logos. You can find topics and people and places and events. You can now even search for Greek or Hebrew lemmas. So let's look for Logos, the Greek word. And notice that it auto-completes and it gives you a whole bunch of different entries. You could click on them. Notice one of them is a Greek lemma. And it'll open up a fact book to the Greek word Logos. You can also enter a passage. We are in Acts 9. So notice it begins to populate a list. You can look up the topic of the book of Acts. These are different parts of this, the narrative transitions to the work of Paul. And Saul is baptized. That's just one pericope in that passage. Here's another section, the whole chapter. And so there's a bunch of different things. You can click on one of them. Since we're looking at the first 9 verses, let's do that. Saul's conversion. And it'll open up a key article. It'll find just some media, events, sermons on this passage. And so that's something new. The passage, fact book searching for passages, and also the fact book searching for Greek and Hebrew lemmas. Now there's another new feature that is called the Sermon Manager and the Sermon Builder. Now it used to be called the Sermon Editor. They've changed that name. So when you go to the Tools section and you notice that you can just type up here and it'll quickly find what you're looking for. So if it's not in this area, which is sort of your most recent used items, here instead you can do Sermon Manager. When you click on that, it's going to open a brand new window here that helps you plan out your sermons in the future. Here is what will be displayed. You can base it on calendars, or you can base it on a liturgical year. So let's go from 2020 to 2021. And notice it follows that. Notice right here there is a view button, and you can either search and see by this radial calendar, or you can do by a week grid. Okay, but you notice the calendar by radial calendar looks a lot cooler. One of the new guides is something called the Counseling Guide. Again, I'm just going to type in counseling, open that up, and it's already got a topic populated in there. Let's change that to marriage. Notice it drops down with a list of possible topics. So let's see, conflict in marriage. Let's say I've decided I'm going to be counseling somebody. I forgot about the appointment, wasn't quite prepared, and or maybe just didn't have time to prepare. So this is going to pop up with some things that maybe can help me get started. All right, there's a new feature in the passage guide. So let me open it up, and I've already got a passage entered in there. It's going to populate my passage guide. Now, this commentaries section, notice that I can list my commentaries in different ways now. I've got a large library of commentaries, and so if I do by priority, that's my priority. I've ranked these books this way. I can do it by series, so it'll find in alphabetical order the series. This is the American Commentary series, the Analytical Bible Expositor Commentary series, etc. Change it by author. So maybe I want to see what a particular author is saying. John Barry edited the Faithlife Study Bible. Maybe I want to do it by denomination. So this is not really built out very well yet in my version of it. Hopefully by the time you see it, it will be. You'll maybe have things like Baptist or other. But notice all the Calvinistic commentaries are here. And then by type, is it an apparatus, which is a lot more technical? Is it an applicational commentary, which is a lot more practical use? And then also by era, is it a contemporary commentary, 1960 to present? Is it modern, which is 1700 to 1959? A Reformation period, Nicene period? You get the idea. So that's one of the new additions, is the passage guide. So there is a new feature having to do with reading plans. If I open up my library, which I can do it just by clicking on that button, the library button, if I make sure that the info button is open and then click on a book, for example, the Christian Standard Bible, I can create a new reading plan. And it will take the book and it will give you reading entries based on passages. It'll try to find an equal number of passages. Now, if you do this from this spot right here, it's going to take a long time to create a reading plan on the entire Bible for that book. So maybe I would rather read this book right here. It's a monograph by Charles Ryrie about dispensationalism. And that's a lot shorter than the whole Bible. So we hit a start reading plan. It's going to open up a reading plan, and notice it creates it on a monograph, a regular book, just by chapters. So you read title page and the thanks for the title 1. Now, that's not the best idea, because most people, I'm just going to kind of skim over that stuff. But session 2 is here. So you can actually start the reading and click on it and open it. And as you read through here, the foreword and then the Thanksgiving, it'll tell you, okay, mark done. That's normal, but notice it looks a little prettier. But creating this reading plan really simply by allowing you to add books with reading plans based on chapters is really nice.